The solar eclipse is coming in just 2 weeks, and we have the local places for you to watch.
And the governor of Florida is banning social media for a certain age group.
A change in policy could affect your next trip to Chick-Fil-A.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Omar Martinez.
And I'm April Pierdont. In 2 weeks, an event of a lifetime will take place, and Denton and UNT will have a front row seat.
Beginning at noon on April 8th, the moon will cover the sun, and here in our area, it will be a nearly 100% totality.
For about 3 hours, we'll be able to experience one of the most unusual natural events. Let's go to Faith Webster with more.
That's right, April. Dallas and much of North Texas just so happen to be in the sweet spot for viewing the celestial phenomenon we won't get for another decade. Dallas falls perfectly in the path of totality, a path about 100 miles wide where the shadow of the moon tracks along the Earth's surface. The eclipse will be visible from noon to 3 p.m. Now, one question is whether this will have an impact on the Texas power grid because we rely on solar panels. State power officials say, no worries. There will be a significant decrease in power during the 3 hours of the eclipse, but there is no long-lasting impact on our power reserves. Now, I know that this eclipse is very exciting, but please don't go outside and try and look at it with your naked eye. Make sure you are wearing the proper eye protection, like safe solar viewing glasses. Now, don't get these confused with regular plain old sunglasses. They are not the same as eclipse glasses. During a total solar eclipse, you must wear your eclipse glasses. Otherwise, you could do permanent damage to your eyes, and nobody wants that to happen. The only time you can remove your safety glasses is during a very short time when the moon is completely obscures the sun. But stay safe and keep those glasses on. April, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Faith. If you are still trying to figure out how to watch the solar eclipse, look no further than the comfort of our very own campus. UNT will be hosting an astronomical variety of events leading to the upcoming solar eclipse. Kicking off the festivities will be UNT's College of Science and their Totality Awesome Parties on Saturday, March 30th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Environmental Science Building, where there will be planetarium shows, experiments, and trivia games. Attendees will also be given a free pair of lunar eyewear. On April 8th, the day of the eclipse, both UNT campuses will be hosting the watch party of a lifetime. Both locations will have 100% totality. Our Denton watch parties will be located on the main campus, Union Lawn, and at Discovery Park. I am definitely going to sign up, so make sure that you sign up and RSVP for the solar eclipse.
Well, April, I don't know about you, but I'm ready for the solar eclipse.
It definitely looks like you're ready, but let's hope that our weather stays good for the leading up to the solar eclipse. Well, just imagine if it rains or something.
No, yeah, that'd be unfortunate, but you know, not as unfortunate as not owning your own pair of solar eclipse glasses.
No, yeah, that would be unfortunate. Let's go with our amazing weather anchor, Kate Klein, who can give us an update on our first weather look update. Kate?
Thanks, guys. I don't currently have the forecast for our solar eclipse, but I do have our current conditions across Denton. As you can see right now, it's currently 68 degrees, feeling like the same with partly cloudy skies. Winds are pretty strong, though, out of the northwest at 14 miles per hour. As we look toward tonight, things are going to cool down dramatically to 37 degrees, feeling like 32, feeling like freezing temperatures. Can you believe it? Almost April and feeling like freezing. Winds are still going to be strong out of the northwest at 12 miles per hour. It's going to be clear skies tonight. As we look toward tomorrow, things are going to heat back up, not as much as it did today, but still at a mild 61, feeling like 62 with sunny skies, and winds are still kind of strong out of the northwest at 9 miles per hour. That's all I have for weather right now, but stay tuned for your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Kate. The motto of our great state is friendship, and it's been so since 1930. The spirit of this has rung true time and time again. UNT students were part of that effort to make a difference here and abroad during a national event this weekend. We're making an effort to make a difference both locally and abroad. ntTV's Meredith Billings was there and has the story.
Over 600 students, faculty, and staff gathered at 7 a.m. last Saturday to participate in UNT's 15th annual big event. Each one waited in 45-degree weather to volunteer over 4 hours of their time to organizations across the Denton community. After eating breakfast, the groups were sent to 14 Denton County locations, including Crum, Argyle, Denton, and even the UNT Union.
So what we're doing today, we're partnering with University of North Texas, and we're packing 10,000 meals. This is our funnel stations. They'll get a clear bag, put an unopened package of vitamins in there. Then they'll go a level scoop of soy, a ladle of vegetables, and the last thing is rice goes last. Then when they're done with that, they'll yell runner, and the runner will take it over to the weighing station where they'll weigh it. Has to weigh a certain amount of weight for us to be able to ship. They'll add or subtract rice to get to that weight, and then they'll hand it over to the sealing station where they will seal it and complete the bag. After that, it'll go to our boxing station where they will put 2 bags per square, and they'll put it all in the box, and it fits just perfect.
I hope that big event changes the way that you look at service and community engagement. I know and believe the impact that community engagement and service has, not only for our outside community, but also the growth within ourselves and being able to share that with others.
I feel like we take so much from our community. We're in a position to take that we need to remember that we got to give back.
A lot of us are commuters. We're not actually from the Denton area, and I feel like this is a really great way to kind of give back to Denton and the city that has given us a home for an entire year.
37 student organizations and 40 individuals signed up to participate, including Chi Omega, Pre-Dental, NT40, and so many others.
UNT's student government elections are open, and we sit down with the elections coordinator after the break.
And as a local nonprofit is offering assistance to help first responders battling mental health. We'll be back after the break.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
You're right, Mom. I have.
Willis Library, located at the University of North Texas. It has computers, printers, and the building is open 24/7. By going online, you can book up to an hour of reserved space in one of the many private study rooms. Many of them are equipped with whiteboards, a table, and a TV to hook up to your computer. Textbooks can be checked out for free with a student ID. They also have many of these in ebook forms. This is still a library, so always remember to be quiet and respectful of other surroundings, especially in certain places where talking is not allowed. For example, the 3rd and 4th floor are completely quiet. As you can see, Willis Library has many options for students, with it offering many media sources and staying open all the time.
Elections of all caliber carry much weight, and the more local, the more important. UNT students, it's your turn to make a difference here on campus. Student government elections opened today. Running for the position of president are Alfred Dozier, the fourth and vice presidential candidate Jaden Watkins. Also running for president is Michael Sholinsky and vice presidential candidates Cole Little. Joining us live now is ntTV's Melanie Garcia, who is with UNT's election coordinator, Methan Gillis, to discuss this year's elections. Melanie?
That's right, April. I'm here with SGA Election Commissioner Ethan Gillis. Thank you so much for joining us today. So now that elections have started, can you tell us about how voting online got started and how secure is it?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for having me. So students starting today at 8 a.m. can go online to OrgSync, which is sort of where all of our campus groups live here at UNT and vote. Voting is incredibly secure. The only people who see that vote are going to be the staff members here in our student activities office. So Joshua Hamilton, who is the staff advisor for our election board and election season, he's really going to be the only person that sees it while the votes are going. During the processing of the election, when we run that report, the election board, myself and 4 other SGA members will be able to see the votes, but only the counts, not any of the names. So all of people's sensitive information, their name, their ID, that kind of stuff stays completely private, and you don't have to worry too much about security when it comes to that sort of thing.
Okay, that's really good. It sounds really secure and really safe for everybody and every student. And is there any place students can vote here on campus?
Yeah, absolutely. So as voting is entirely online, we don't have an in-person polling station. However, anywhere where there is a public use computer, places like Willis Library or in any sort of libraries or shared computer spaces across campus, the computer lab and library at Frisco Landing, Discovery Park, all those places are going to be a space where you can vote. So as long as you have access to the internet, to a computer, cellular device, you're able to access that vote.
Oh, that's very interesting. And what issues have the candidates been discussing?
Yeah, so we've seen a really wide range in issues that our candidates are tackling. We have 2 presidential tickets and around 25 senators running for office. You know, a lot of quality of life issues, you know, improving quality of life for students on campus. Our presidential candidates, one of our campaigns, the SOAR campaign, has talked about improving our campuses like food bank and that sort of thing. The other side, our Change campaign, they have been really pushing for improvement of ease of using the SGA complaint system, allowing students to have their voices heard, as well as working to mend relations with deans on campus. All of our senators represent colleges, and so we want to get those solid relations with deans.
Okay, and how would each candidate benefit UNT?
Yeah, for sure. I think all of our candidates have a lot of benefits that they do, and the best way for a student to decide how that candidate will benefit them and the campus is to read about our candidates online. So at UNT SGA is the best place to go. For me as commissioner, it's hard to say which candidate will benefit students more, but their platforms, what they're looking to run for and to accomplish is all going to be at UNT SGA on social media.
Okay, sounds really good. And when is it the certified election?
Yeah, so voting will close this Thursday at 5 p.m. 24 hours later, Friday at 5 p.m., the votes will be released.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. That's all we have right here. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Melanie. Millions of people in the U.S. are affected by mental illness each year. Some of the most affected individuals are the ones who we trust with our lives. First responders and especially police officers top the list of the most depression-prone occupations, but one local nonprofit is hoping to change that. From traffic lights to the front lines, police officers are there when they are called upon. But what happens when they need someone to call?
I don't think that people know that suicide is the #1 killer of police across the nation. It's not any kind of gun or ambush attack. It's not any kind of motor accident. It's suicide, unfortunately.
According to bluehope.org, 180 officers died by suicide in 2022, and many of these fallen officers are not recognized due to the stigma it carries.
Mental health concerns are stigmatized, and I think it's even worse within the police officer community. There's the idea that we're always supposed to be strong, upfront, show no weakness, and that a lot of times mental health is considered, or mental health concerns are considered a weakness.
But one North Texas organization hopes to change all of that.
Our organization, To the Next Shift, has been in existence a little over a year now. but we've been doing To the Next Shift type of work for a long time.
With resources such as counseling, mentoring, coaching, and community events, To the Next Shift hopes to shift the way mental health is perceived in the police community.
The new culture, the new first responder, in which we are definitely striving for, they say, you know what, I have to do everything I can to make sure that my mental, physical, spiritual, emotional is taken care of, because it makes no sense for a first responder to save the world and to save all the wrecks and crashes of the world, but yet and still at home, they are a wreck and a crash away from, being extinct.
With the crucial role police officers play in society,
It's hard for it not to have at least some type of impact.
because healthy officers are needed in order to have a healthy community. If you are a first responder or know someone who may be in need of help, visit the To the Next Shift website or email them at info@thenextshift.org.
One of Florida's most restrictive social media laws has just been passed, which will ban many kids from using their favorite social media sites. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed the bill, which will ban the use of social media for children under 14. The bill, HB 3, will also require social media companies to delete the accounts of those under 14. If they don't, the minor could be awarded up to $10,000 in damages. On the other hand, children who are 15 to 16 years of age can gain access to social media sites with parental consent. DeSantis says he hopes HB 3 will help parents better protect their kids from the dangers of social media. HB 3 is set to go into effect on January 1st of next year and is expected to face several legal challenges.
No, April, I'm definitely feeling the spring weather.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is the unexpected rain here and there.
Well, you know what they say, April's shower brings May flowers, and April is basically here, like right there.
Oh, yes, you're right, Omar. Well, let's go with our weather anchor, Kate Klein, who can give us more insight on the full weather forecast. Kate, what you got for us?
Thanks, guys. Even though April isn't fully here yet, we've had some unexpected showers, and there are some showers in the forecast for our 7-day, which I will get to momentarily. As we look across North Texas right now, we currentently have 60s and 70s, mostly. We're going to highlight Fort Worth at 71, Dallas at 72, and Bowie at 58. As we go to our state forecast, geez, it got cold all of a sudden. Oh, that's right. 32 in Amarillo. Can you believe it? It's snowing up there. It's ridiculous. They're at 32 right now, 56 in El Paso, and 48 in Oklahoma City. The rest of Texas at 60s and 70s. As we look toward our 7-day forecast here, we are going to see the only chance of showers being on Wednesday, with a 40% chance of some occasional rain showers. And then for the rest of the week, into the weekend and next week, we're going to have a mix of sun and clouds. Some days will be cloudier than others. Some days will be sunnier than others. We're going to have increasing temps from 70 all the way to 84, and lows going from the 50s to the 60s. And to highlight Easter Sunday, if you're going to go outside, make sure you wear sunscreen or anything if you're going to do any outdoor activities or do Easter egg hunting. That's all I have for weather today. Back to y'all at the desk.
Well, Chick-Fil-A is changing the way they process their chicken. We have more coming up.
And Caitlin Clark from Iowa is now being called the billion-dollar lady. Find out why after the break.
The man's been walking in the desert for days at a time.
Oh my gosh.
He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh?
There's no harm in wanting to have fun while in college, but it's easy to lose track of how much you've had. Apps like Drink Control and Alkadroid can help keep track of your consumption and blood alcohol levels. If you or someone else does drink too much, the signs of alcohol poisoning are as follows: pale skin, vomiting, confusion, low body temperatures, irregular breathing, blacking out, and is hard to wake up or cannot be woken up.
Dude, are you okay? Hey, what's wrong? Wake up.
It's an exciting time of year, but it's important to be responsible. If you suspect someone is suffering from alcohol poisoning, get help immediately. You will not get in trouble for seeking help if you are underage. For more info and resources, go to UNT's Division of Student Affairs.
Millions of eyes are expected to be on Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes tonight as they continue their run in the ladies' ntAA basketball tournament. Clark's record-setting success is showing how women are continuing to change and elevate the sports world. We saw record revenues in 2023 for elite women's sports, from volleyball to basketball to soccer, and according to Deloitte, women's sports will see further growth in 2024, set to pass the billion-dollar barrier level for the first time. Michael Yoshida reports.
She's one of the biggest names in sports. Caitlin Clark's record-setting success on the court and beyond, showcasing how women are continuing to take the sports world to new heights.
This isn't a coincidence.
Danette Layton is the CEO of the Women's Sports Foundation. Barrier breaker Billie Jean King started the organization 50 years ago, 2 years after the passing of Title IX.
You're starting to see this transformation finally, but it takes time. It takes time to change gender norms. It takes time for those to understand that we've deserved this for a long time.
In 2023, football stadiums were filled, setting attendance records for women's volleyball and basketball. The Women's World Cup also set new highs for attendance and prize money. And now in 2024, Deloitte predicts revenue generated by women's elite sports will surpass $1 billion for the first time, a total that's up at least 300% from just 3 years ago.
In 2021, we'd be having a conversation like the biggest secret in sports right now is women's sports. That's not the case anymore. I actually maintain that if you're not currently investing in women's sports, you're behind.
Still, gaps between women and men's sports remain, from resources and pay to coaching and leadership opportunities, and keeping girls involved in youth sports.
It's not a nice to have, it's a must have for women because those skill sets are lifelong. And I think we're just getting started. I think we're barely putting our toe in the water as it relates to the potential of women's sports.
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Now, Omar, how do you feel about fast food companies going back on their promises?
Well, it definitely makes me skeptical of them. Are you telling me Wendy's is making their burgers round now?
Well, not exactly. But let's go to our reporter Elizabeth Moreno, who tells us about a fast food favorite going back on an important policy.
Take it away, Elizabeth.
That's right, guys. Chick-fil-A will no longer be implementing its no antibiotics ever policy and will instead be moving towards a lenient no antibiotics important to human medicine approach approved by the USDA and the World Health Organization. Antibiotics in food have been under serious scrutiny in recent years, this due primarily to bacterial infections within humans becoming treatment resistant due to the frequent exposure to the drugs. Chick-fil-A will initially implemented the no antibiotics ever promise in 2014, vowing not to serve chicken with it. This will soon be changing since the company cited a diminishing chicken supply as to why they were getting rid of this policy. It's unclear when this new standard will be taking place across all Chick-fil-A's in the U.S., and for now, no serious health concerns are expected to emerge. That's all I have for you guys today. It's back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Well, I like to eat Chick-fil-A whenever I watch the NFL. And the NFL just released a new controversial rule that has just been approved. Our sports anchor, Ramiro Cuellar, has more on that.
That's right, Omar. In April, the NFL has just banned the controversial hip drop tackle. I will have more information on this and the US-Mexico final right after this break.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike! My bike is gone!
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
The UNT softball team is on fire right now. The Mean Green defeated Tulsa 3-2 with a walk-off win by Saline Donahoe on Sunday here at Lovelake Stadium. This marks an impressive third consecutive walk-off win for UNT. Junior Skylar Savage was honored on Monday as the American Athletic Conference Pitcher of the Week for the first time in her career. Savage tallied 2 out of 3 wins in the circle, including a complete Game 7 inning shutout on Saturday. And well, moving over to the Mean Green basketball, the UNT men's basketball team season ended in the second round of the NIT tournament after falling 72-58 to first seed Seton Hall. UNT women's basketball season came to an end as well as losing in the first of the WBIT to TCU with a final score of 67-58. Well, the NFL has banned the hip drop tackle after a vote at the spring owners meeting. There has been momentum to ban the controversial tackle for months now. According to the League's Competition Committee Executive Vice President Jeff Milner, the hip drop tackle results in about 25 times rate of injury as a typical tackle. There has been controversy regarding what constitutes a hip drop tackle. Today, Competition Committee Chairman Rich McKay showed a video compilation of examples during media availability. And well, Tyler Adams ignited the crowd at the AT&T Stadium with a stunning 35-yard strike, propelling the United States to a 2-0 victory over Mexico in the CONCACAF Nations League final. Adams seized the momentum in the 45th minute, unleashing a perfectly curled shot past the outstretched arms of goalkeeper Guillermo Ochoa to put the United States in front. The U.S. dominance continued as rising star Gio Reyna sealed the deal with a clinical finish in the 63rd minute, building upon his stellar performance in the semifinals. This triumph extends the United States' unbeaten streak against Mexico to 7 games, and proving once again that the U.S. is now the king of soccer in North America. That's all I have for sports. Back to Omar and April at the desk.
Thanks, Ramiro. Has this ever happened to you? You return to your vacation home after a long and cold winter, only to find a bear living in your house. CNN's Tori Apodeke has the latest on these recent bear break-ins.
Watch out, Ron!
A paintball gun scaring off a bear from its sleep under a Tahoe home.
We upgraded the hinges and the latch and put some steel rods on the back of this door.
Even with a secured crawl space like this, one bear on a mission for warmth in the winter found another way in.
So the bear this year came back behind the church and then entered under the deck this way.
Pastor at Christ the King Lutheran Church in Tahoe City, Edward Hilton, says he knew something was off when the chapel wasn't heating up, so he called in a contractor.
While he was underneath, the contractor came face to face with a hibernating bear and immediately ran out.
That bear spent about a month of his hibernation hogging up the heat under the back deck.
It's just the bears doing what they need to compensate for us taking over what has historically been their forest.
Hilton called in executive director of the Bear League, Ann Bryant, to evict the bear.
Right behind here, she crawled under the church.
So why are bears burrowing near humans and not in their habitat?
Come on, get out!
Bryant says it's because we're inviting bears in by leaving crawl spaces open and food out. The solution, secure your space.
The problem is more and more tourism and more people coming up here for vacation and forgetting to bring their brains with them.
The majority of evictions are happening at vacation homes.
This winter was a record.
Sometimes 8 a day, and they usually just find another home to hide under.
Come on, bear!
We feel like criminals running the bears out.
Bryant does not expect the disrupted sleep will impact bear behavior.
We're going to be looking at some bear wire.
But the bears aren't going anywhere, as long as people keep unintentionally inviting them in.
He's a holy bear.
Oh my goodness, Omar, what would you do in that moment? How would you feel?
Well, I'd be very scared. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow at noon and tomorrow evening at 6 here on North Texas Television.